touchy, touchy, touchy you. Me, I'm touchy. Best I can do. Touchy, you. Touchy, best I can do. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this week's episode of Waqattack. That song was Touchy by Aha. Now, if anyone gets touchy with you without consent, always remember to go to the police or get a restraining order. That's our advice of the day. Today we have a little special show for you. We're going to be a bit different. We're going to talk about the news stories as per usual, tell you what's going on in the world, but we're going to be getting to know people. We're going to get to know a very exotic human being, and we'll talk to them about a variety of different issues, topics, and etc., etc. So that's coming up next. So without further ado, let's get into the news stories. Number one, a woman calls cops to report dealers' outrageous weed price hike. When a drug dealer in Northern Australia jacked up the price of their weed, an unhappy customer called the police to complain. The unidentified woman stated that the marijuana price hike was outrageous, and then she refused to reveal any further detail out of fear of incriminating herself, and so did what every sane person doing drugs would do when they realized they called the police to complain about said drugs that they were consuming. She basically hung up. And the Northern Territory Police Fire Emergency Services said that the completely offended woman, I mean, why wouldn't you when your weed dealer has like hiked up your price so high? This bizarre phone call Saturday was on top of the list of the most unusual phone calls they've ever received in history. Now, despite marijuana being illegal in the Northern Territory of Australia, the department decided to use the incident to pursue other dealers rather than the woman herself. The Popo, or the police for all you vintage listeners out there, wrote on their official Facebook page, "If you know a drug dealer who is ripping you off, give us a call. We'd love to help." That's a great move from the police department, really reaching out to the public, trying to end ties, trying to make sure that they're friendly so that people can stop cussing at the police all the time. Now we're going to move on from Australia and travel a little up north to the sickle-shaped landmass that is Japan, a country famed for such thing as Pokemon, dolphin sushi, and love pillows. We shouldn't get into love pillows, that's like a completely different topic, but among such creations, a thing called adult swaddling is Tokyo's new top trend. 5 Japanese mothers have found a way to cure their post-pregnancy aches and pains by being wrapped up from head to the toe in a white bag, gently rocking from side to side. Now, according to its traditional name, apologies if I butcher this, Otonamaki, which translated to adult wrapping, was devised by a Kyoto midwife who thought replicating how children are swaddled at birth could actually help mothers overcome post-labor shoulder and hip pain, giving Embrace Your Inner Child a brand new meaning. One woman said, "It felt warm, and there was this feeling with my body." And she did this after a 20-minute session. But not everyone is a fan. Chiropractor Shiro Oba was skeptical about the powers of the healings and encouraged the mothers with back pain to actually visit a physician rather than, being wrapped up in a white cloth head to toe. Adding, "I just can't think how people can benefit from this even as a form of exercise or reflexology, because being wrapped up completely in a white cloth with minimal breathing spaces can be a health risk. Who knew?" And finally, the next story is of a Howard graduate that accomplished his 500,000 word thesis on particle accelerators in less than 24 hours. Just kidding. The actual story comes to us from America, but it is of a gambler that left the casino to rob a bank and then came back to gamble some more. Kerry Johnson, the man in this situation, made a teensy tiny little error when he robbed a bank and returned to his local gambling hole. Now, it's a sure bet he'll be serving at least 5 to 18 years in prison. Minimum. Now, the 52-year-old pleaded guilty to second-degree robbery this Wednesday for robbery of a bank in Charleston, West Virginia. Authorities say that Johnson was gambling at the Mardi Gras casino in Nitro when he got up from the blackjack table and put a $25 chip to hold his spot. Johnson then went to a bank and gave a yellow paper note to the bank cashier person saying he had a bomb and a weapon, and he left the bank with $5,000 only to go back to the casino and resume his blackjack game. He was arrested the next day after detectives received an anonymous tip about the happenings and such. After searching his residence, they found the yellow legal pad that matched the paper that he gave to the bank, as well as a hat that he was seen wearing in a CCTV footage. Now, this guy could literally have not left more clues than he already did. But wait, detectives also found large amount of money stuffed into his couch and also recovered $500 of the stolen money from the same table where he had been playing blackjack. Now, at Wednesday's hearing, Johnson told the judge that he had taken a few drugs during the day of the robbery, but recognized himself after seeing a video from the bank. This guy not only said that he was under the influence of drugs, but he actually ratted himself out in the court of law, and he will learn how much time he will spend in prison when he's sentenced on March 2nd, 2017. So mark that on your calendars, y'all. Moral of the story is don't rob a bank and use your earnings immediately through the act and desire of gambling, but even if you decide to do so, at least try and pull a low-key Ocean's 11 and plan the robbery in the first place. So that was our very fascinating news stories of the day. The next song we're going to be playing is by Dire Straits. It's called Money for Nothing. Time to get your rock on, y'all. This is Money for Nothing, Dire Straits.
This is Insanity Radio, 103.2 FM.
Fellas, I'm ready to get up and do my thing. I want to get into it, man, you know. Like a sex machine, man. Moving, doing it, you know. Can I count it off? 1, 2, 3, 4. Can we hit it and quit? Can we hit it and quit? Hit it!
Get On Up by James Brown. Oh, that is a funky track. And now we're going to be having a little interview and getting to know someone. I believe that life has many purposes, and one of those purposes is to get to know as many people as you can, you know, broaden your horizons and learn new things, learn new culturally informative things. So I've got my good friend from Cornwall with me by the name of Mr. Daniel Rice, and we're gonna try and get to know him. We're gonna get to know what makes Dan Dan and how he is as a human being, and hopefully y'all will learn something and I will learn something. So Dan, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
I am fantastic. So you're a Cornish-man, right?
I am indeed, Colonel.
Colonel, and from what I can hear, you have a very uncorny dialect.
Yeah, I'd like to say I speak the Queen's English.
Okay.
No, once I have a few drinks, I sound very Cornish, so...
So, what enabled you to speak the Queen's English?
I really don't know, because most of my family is extremely Cornish. I guess I'm a bit weird.
Oh, okay. So what does Dan Rice, the Cornish man who speaks the Queen's English, like to do on a warm summer's eve? Do you spend it on like a beach or something?
We don't really get them in Cornwall. Everybody says, oh, it's nice and sunny and warm in Cornwall. It's not. It rains a lot. On average, it's meant to rain about a month extra in Cornwall than it is here.
Even in the summers?
Even in the summers, especially in the summers.
So do you not like go out to the beaches in the summer and like have some you know, summery fun like you do?
Oh yeah, we go to the beach all the time. We go to the beach in winter. We love it.
Oh, you go to the beach? Oh, not in the summers?
In both.
Damn.
Spot of cliff jumping, see some seals, see some dolphins.
Oh, speaking of dolphins, basically, have you ever been attacked by a dolphin?
Several times.
Are you serious?
Several fist fights with dolphins.
Damn, because I heard...
No, I haven't.
Because they're quite, like, aggressive creatures, and they can be quite territorial. I mean, I don't know, like what they do in Cornwall, like, you know, get on the back of dolphins and ride them.
No, they seem all right. I tell you what is scary, seals. They're actually massive. You don't realise until you're in the sea and a huge seal swims underneath you. They're huge.
What's the worst seal experience you've had? Like, the scariest one?
They've been pretty friendly to me so far. They're pretty lucky. One of my mates chased after a seal because he wanted to see it, and they got kind of aggressive, kind of started, coming towards him. So I wouldn't recommend it, but,
Have you ever heard of any, like, horrifying seal attacks on human beings, like flesh-eating seals or anything like that?
None so far.
All right, that's good. Okay, so since you're from Cornwall, what is one thing that you love about Cornwall that you're just like, home?
I think almost every Cornishman would say pasties as one of their first things.
Pasties. Now, aren't there a variety of these things?
There are a variety of pasties. You can get chicken pasties. You can even get some barbecue pork pasties, but they're not true pasties. You have to have a steak pasty if you're a Cornish person.
Well, what's in a steak pasty that, like, makes it different to all these wannabe pasties?
Well, it's just they've got the right ratio, they've got the right mix. You don't put carrot in it for a start. I had a pasty at Waterloo Station and it had carrot in, and that is absolutely disgraceful. No, you want beef, you want potato, you want turnip, a bit of onion. That's it, you're sorted.
That's what you need. If anyone is planning on having a nice Cornish meal for dinner or lunch, y'all know what to do. Y'all need your steak, beef, right? Was it beef you said?
Beef or steak. Beef, yeah.
And like, what about the bread? Is there any particular bread or any bread will do?
It's pastry. So
just pastry, okay.
Just short crust pastry.
I thought you didn't like the London pastry. It's too polluted.
It was, yeah, sure.
Too polluted. All right. What's one thing you hate about Cornwall?
One thing I hate, the buses. You cannot travel anywhere. For a 10-minute journey in Cornwall, it costs me about £9 for a return.
Damn.
Yeah, and we're all pretty poor down there, so
The buses, they're like legit buses, right? They go on 4 wheels, right?
Sometimes 3,
Oh, man. Only in Cornwall. If you could be the mayor of your hometown, what's your hometown that you come from?
I'm kind of ashamed to say this, but Camborne.
Camborne, why are you ashamed?
It's not the nicest place in Cornwall. Let's just say that. Yeah, we'll just leave it at that.
It's not that. No, I want to know deep about it. Why is it not the nicest place in Cornwall?
A lot of teen pregnancies. I'm pretty sure it topped the charts for teen pregnancies at some point in the last 10 years. Just general, that kind of stuff,
I mean, once you're, like, swimming with dolphins and seals, you must get a lot of testosterone building up, and you might want to release that.
Exactly, that's the problem. You go and swim with a dolphin, and you gotta get it out of your system.
You gotta get it. And the females, I mean, what do they do, once the men are, like, swimming with dolphins? What do the females do?
They're just waiting on the cliffs,
They're on the cliffs. Now, these are pretty high cliffs, I'm assuming, so they must have some adrenaline inside of them as well.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, they're waiting there, just on the cliff with a pasty.
With a pasty? All right, so that was a little insight into Cornish life. We're gonna get even deeper into Dan, not in the dirty sense.
Oh, why not?
But it's a radio show. We have children listening, and yeah, let's leave it at that. Dan, what song are we gonna play next? Now, is this one of your favorite songs?
Next, Chaudhry, we are going to play Down Under by Men at Work, and no, I've never heard of it before.
This is Insanity Radio, 103.2 FM.
That was Mr. Boombastic Shaggy with Feel the Rush. Hopefully y'all are feeling the rush today. Not traffic, but other rushes, as in feeling good. That kind of rush. Because no one likes getting stuck in traffic. We're back with Dan, and we're going to ask more questions about him. So we learned a lot about Cornwall, but now we want to dig deeper into the hole that is Dan Rice. So, Dan, how are you feeling after that intense conversation about your homeland?
Pretty good. I think I covered some pretty pivotal points on Cornwall. The basics. But yeah, I think I kind of sold it.
You sold it. I would be very disappointed if the tourism for Cornwall didn't go up after that. So, as Dan Rice, what is your ideal day?
My ideal day. Oh, see, I'm very boring. It would probably involve some geology. I'm a geology student. People don't seem to get the allure of looking at rocks. I do. I love it. I'm sure you can understand. Also doing geology.
I've never told you guys I do geology as well. You know. Do you like do what some geologists do, which is like go to like cliffs and start licking rocks?
I do it all the time. You're meant to do it with halite, which is a salt rock, but I just love the taste of rocks. I just lick them all the time.
You lick them? What's your do you ever fear that it's going to be injurious to your health? Because I heard high salt intake, especially at McDonald's, is not good for you. But it's like natural salt, right? It shouldn't be too bad.
Yeah, I mean, just to clarify, I don't normally lick rocks, but I think you'll be okay. I mean, I wouldn't recommend doing it all the time, but, you know, it's one of the things we do.
What's the biggest rock you've licked?
The biggest rock I've licked? Well, you know, God, I've actually only ever licked one rock, and I'm ashamed to say that as a geologist. That was in the lab. Our teachers encourage us to. But yeah, it wasn't that big.
One rock. Yeah, I think
I've for the bucket list.
Yeah, exactly. I think I've licked only one rock, but I definitely want to go to Cornwall and lick some more rocks over there. So, in your ideal day, do you prefer the sunshine, the rain, the snow, or a hurricane?
Well, hurricanes are more exciting.
Exactly.
I would like to say sun, but I'm a bit ginger. I have lots of freckles.
Yeah.
I burn within 20 minutes of being in the sun.
Even with sunscreen and everything on.
Even with sunscreen, yeah. I put factor 50 sun cream on before, and I've walked to the bus stop and I've gotten burnt.
Is that like the highest sunscreen you could possibly get?
I think you can get like 100.
50
I should probably look into that. I should probably just wear like a burqa or something.
Burqa? No, because I like my mom I think once said that wear sunscreen, but I'm just like, you know what? My olivine skin should like filter out with the thanks to my melanin.
Skin.
My olivine skin. Olivine is another rock, you guys, but it's green, unlike my skin, which is kind of yellow. I think like
caramel complexion.
Caramel complexion. So desert life. It's like the color of the desert, basically. So I should be used to sun, but I would be quite sad if like one day I woke up and didn't wear sunscreen. Turns out I had skin cancer, but that hasn't happened yet. But when it will,
try not to worry.
Try not to worry. Okay, so you've heard of the game rock, papers, and scissors, right?
I have indeed, the classic.
So like on a spiritual level, what do you relate to? The rock, the paper, or the scissors?
Well, it's obviously got to be The Rock. I think if I could compare myself to anybody, it would be Dwayne Johnson. Obviously, geology again. The link there with The Rock has to be The Rock. What about you?
I don't know. See, the go-to answer would be rock, because, I love the earth and all the things that come with it. But, you know what? There's something about scissors that's just really fun. Like cutting stuff. Like that. When I was in geography, I used to love cutting stuff. And I used to be really bad at it.
You sound like an emerging serial killer.
Oh, yeah, no, I sound really Yeah, it all starts with scissors, then you move on to the knives, then the butcher knives, and then machetes. That's gradual progression. But so far, I don't know, I like scissors. I think they're quite shiny. I think shiny is I like shine. I don't know, you can get some shiny rocks, can't you?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, yeah.
What kind of rocks do you like? Do you like matte rocks or like shiny rocks? Like...
Shiny rocks are always cool. Bit of obsidian. I like it.
Bit of obsidian. That's black. It's black and shiny.
Yeah, it's volcanic. Volcanic rock.
Volcanic rock.
Volcanic glass.
All right. So, what really grinds your gears?
What grinds my gears? Oof.
Like, it could be something that happened recently, or
something today.
Yeah.
When my lecture finishes an hour early and then I have 3 hours to wait until my next one.
Yeah.
And then it's just, I may as well just go home. I live in Kingswood, which is kind of the, you've kind of lost out if you live in Kingswood. It's 20 minutes away.
Yeah.
So by the time I go home, I may as well stay there. And, another thing that annoys me about uni is I could go home and for almost every lesson, I could just read through the PowerPoint and learn it, if not, probably better than if I stayed in the lecture.
So do you think that your 9,000 pounds are just going down the drain?
It's going towards Microsoft PowerPoint.
It's going towards Microsoft. Exactly. That even sucks because Microsoft PowerPoint costs another £100 to run per year.
Yeah.
So they're ripping you off for using the things that they're ripping off themselves. It's like rip-off central. Okay, moving on from grinding your gears to something a bit more light, something a bit more Lovely jubbly. You're a fan of Disney, right?
I love Disney. I have a younger sister, so I've pretty much watched all of the movies.
Perfect. So, which Disney princess do you relate most to, Jasmine or Mulan? Now, these are diverse characters, so I want you to think very deep about this.
I've always considered myself to be a Jasmine.
Why? What about Jasmine appeals to you?
Exotic?
Exotic. Okay. Is that like as a Cornishman? Is that your dream to be exotic?
This Cornwall is the exotic part of the country, so obviously I can relate.
But like Mulan, she's kind of exotic. I mean, she's like a warrior.
That's true, but I look in the mirror and I've just always thought Jasmine. So.
Always saw Jasmine. Is it because of her dress? Because she wears like quite like a traditional like skimpy little dress.
That's probably the major factor. Yes.
You know what? As bad as it is, but I'd actually love to like dress up. I think I once did. Like as a kid, I used to do plays, and they used to put like a dress and makeup on me. I used to like go all out.
Well,
but that's another story.
We're certainly learning more about Chaudhry Waqas.
Okay, what's your favorite food? We learned that you love your Cornish pasties, but is there anything else other than pasties that you like?
I love a bit of spag bowl.
Spag bowl, are we talking traditional Italian or are we talking something straight out of the Heinz?
My spag bowl, the one I make.
You make spag? Yeah. Oh, you make spag bowl.
What
ingredients do you use? Like one of those like Tesco spaghetti? Do you have like specific kind of like noodle that you work with?
I mean, I could go through it. It's nothing special. I think I cook it well.
You think you cook it well? What kind of meat do you use? Lamb?
No, beef.
Oh, beef. Oh, why did I say lamb? I don't know why. I just had sheep running in my head.
No, I don't like lamb.
Cornwall, you guys don't get sheep, do you? That's Wales, isn't it?
Well, we do have sheep.
But it's not a problem like it is in Wales, is it?
I don't know if it's a major problem in Wales, but I think they have a lot. They have a certain reputation with sheep.
All right, they do, don't they? All right, we'll be back with Dan, but first we're gonna take a trip down to the countryside with Mr. Tim McGraw, and he's gonna tell us about life down in the farm. So take it away, Mr. Tim.
This is Insanity Radio, 103.2 FM.
Bangkok, Oriental sitting in the city, don't know what the city is getting. The creme de la creme of the chess world in a show with everything but Yul Brynner. Can't be too careful with your company. I can feel the devil walking next to me.
One Night in Bangkok by Murray Head. Ooh, what an 80s classic. Now, we're going to be closing off with our good friend Dan Rice. Dan, how have you enjoyed your experience over here?
Yeah, it's been great. I mean, I've never done anything like this, but it's been brilliant, yeah.
Has it opened your eyes? Has it made you more charitable as a person?
It has indeed. It's transformed my life. I only have to thank you, Chaudhry.
That's what we aim to do on this show. Change lives, make you smile, and hopefully give charity to whatever cause you feel like. So I'm going to ask you last few questions. If you could live anywhere right now, where would you live?
That's a difficult question.
Like,
I'm gonna have to say somewhere like Spain because I need sun.
You need sun.
I hate this weather. Even though I burn, I need sun. I stay in my room too much. I've probably got a vitamin D deficiency.
Yeah, same. My mom's got it. It's like my entire family, like, because we're meant to be like people who like stay in deserts and stuff. So we're meant to have like a lot of a lot of melanin. Like,
you need the D, Chaudhry.
I need the D, but we can't get enough D because we're inside making notes in our lectures for 3 hours, and then our lecturer decides to like finish 2 hours early, and then exactly like you said,
the lecturer needs to just give us the D.
Exactly.
The vitamin D.
The vitamin D. That's a very important vitamin that every gender needs. So you want to live in Spain, so the heat doesn't bother you?
Yeah, I can handle it for so long, and then I kind of, start like melting because I'm Cornish. But I just miss it so much. I get like, they say about seasonal depression.
Yeah.
I think I'm a sufferer. I think most people are, to be honest.
Because I a lot of like British people I talk to, they always say that I can't handle the sun. It's too hot. It's too. Even like some of my like Indian friends who are like used to the heat. They're like, yo, the way the houses are made here, I can't handle it, man. And I'm
really?
like,
you can't handle the cold either.
I was standing outside. I was shivering me timbers out there. It was painful.
I think it's lovely, you know.
Really?
Well, I do miss the sunshine, but I do love a bit of cold weather as well.
See, I was with Dan the other day, and it was like, I had to be like -3 degrees or something like that, right? And he was there, wearing just like a shirt, and like a very light, like sort of shirt on top of it. I'm like, dude, do you not feel cold? And he said, this is normal weather for me. And then I'm here with 3 layers of fat coats and like gloves. And
I could be in the sea right now, you know.
You could legit, as you said, in Cornwall, even in the winters, you go. Why would you go to the sea in the winters anyway?
You know, nothing else to do.
That's nothing else to do. That's a perfect reason. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you very much for having me.
Feel free to drop by anytime. We learned so much. So I feel like the viewers and myself learned so much about the life in Cornwall.
My aim was to bring cultural diversity to this show.
Exactly.
I think I've achieved that.
What's more diverse than a white Cornish-man from south of South Cornwall?
Yes, South Cornwall.
South Cornwall, damn. So, hope y'all learned something about Cornwall, and we will continue to have Dan on. It was a pleasure talking to you, and I hope you guys have a lovely rest of the day, rest of the week, and the weekend. And I shall see you guys next Thursday, as usual, 3 to 4 p.m. So mark your doomsday calendars or your clocks, whatever you have. Just mark it 3 to 4 on a Thursday. It's just 1 hour where I try to please you and amuse you with good music and diverse guests and chit chat like that. But we're gonna end with we're gonna say this in 3, 2, 1. All this we're gonna say this together. The last song we're gonna be singing. 3, 2, 1. All-Star Smash Mouth.
Somebody once told me the world is gonna roll me. I ain't the sharpest tool in the shed. She was looking kind of dumb with her finger